Okay, I owe you guys a YouTube video. um, I have been dealing with what I think they call the yeast die-off reaction or the Herxheimer reaction. And sometimes, yeah, I am also allergic to yeast toxins, so I got to keep the water down. Yesterday, I was so excited because, well, I'm trying to be better about doing the Gail commandment about a balanced diet, okay? Because I feel that one of the reasons my infection got so bad was because I was eating like 6 popsicles a day. Well, you know, back in May 2023, my allergies were acting up, and I got an allergic sore throat. It was making me cough at night and keeping me up. So my husband, Brent, who is a doctor, told me to take Zyrtec and make sure you take it at the same time every day. But he said, in the meanwhile, get some fruit popsicles and suck on them for your sore throat. Well, what I ended up doing was I became addicted to the fruit popsicles and even started, you know, like thinking, oh, I'm getting a lot of good healthy vitamin C from this, so I can go to town on them. And I think what I ended up doing is I probably have a cavity now on that rear tooth. I'm just about done with my Deflucan. It was a 1-2 dose. Like you take one dose, it lasts for a week. You take your second dose, it lasts for a week. So my second dose is due to run out on Wednesday. I've got a lot of swelling going on through my entire body, and right now there's some inflammation around the site of the extraction, which I was a little concerned about. So I had but it's not really painful. It's a little sensitive. Sometimes I have conversations with my doctor husband on the bed because he likes to hump on me. So I said, is it true what I heard brain to brain that you put some medicine in my ginger turmeric tea? You might say, well, I tried chamomile tea, which is what I normally have for meditation. But for some odd reason, after antibiotic therapy, the chamomile tea seems to irritate my mouth area. I don't know why. It could be so I decided to try a different tea yesterday I was working on my recipes, okay? And I'm going to have links to them as part of my goal to have a more balanced diet, no 6 popsicles. I've kind of eliminated my chocolate for right now too. I'm kind of really cutting back on the sugars because I think I may end up with a dental bridge, and I'm trying to improve my eating habits so that I don't mess up the bridge, you know? Yeah. Unfortunately yesterday I didn't have my breakfast till like 3 in the afternoon. I shouldn't have done that. I was, starting to feel good. And even though I was drinking water, when you're going through a detox reaction and you're going through die-off, by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I was feeling my liver and gallbladder felt really swollen. So it's like, oh, Gail, you got so excited. So it all started when I woke up in the morning, okay? And I was having trouble finding a recipe because I had a bunch of eggs that I needed to cook, okay? I didn't want them to go bad on me. I wanted to make a recipe as part of my balanced diet. So I was trying to find the recipe, and I was going through I have 120 recipes in these folders, and they're all out of order. And I was looking through all 120, trying to find this recipe, and I couldn't find it. And finally I said, this is ridiculous. How in the world can you find anything when this is such a disorganized mess? You need to go through these recipes that you've gotten, that you've printed out, and get them in some sort of order. So I said, beef recipes, chicken recipes, put them in alphabetical order and get them organized so you can find a recipe when you need it. That took me 6 hours. So I went through all my recipes. I created a list And I like put beef, chicken, tofu, vegetable, pasta, and I organized it. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. Now I'm going to be able to find my recipes right away. And I don't have to spend an hour looking for them, just going through my pile. And in the meanwhile, I thought, you know what? The way I have my recipes organized at my website is kind of the same way. Like, if somebody's trying to find a certain recipe, they won't even know where to start. So I decided to to go ahead and reorganize those web pages. So my web pages now for my recipes are pretty organized. So if there's like a recipe of mine that you like, you can now find them easier. Like I got like beef recipes, chicken recipes, potato recipes, rice recipes, pasta, tofu, sushi, or whatever. Okay. And I've created about 4 or 5 web pages revolving around all of the recipes that I've made. So I'll have links to them underneath this video. This is all part of my goal to have a balanced diet. And I also created a web page, well, after antibiotic therapy, which I hate, by the way, because I am allergic to yeast toxin, okay? So when I get a yeast infection, it's no fun. No fun for me, because the yeast die-off makes me feel like I'm going to die, okay? And my liver and gallbladder feel really upset, you know? It's like my whole abs. So I think they call it the Herxheimer reaction. With me, I get like esophageal spasms. I feel really tired. My head feels like there's like mud got put all over the brain cells, you know. There's swelling. In any wound I get will take forever to heal because of my yeast inflammation, okay? Then I get allergy symptoms. Now, I'm on Zyrtec, so it's a good thing I was on Zyrtec when I went on the antibiotics and then on the Deflucan. But yeah, the weird symptoms that I described in my last video, I do believe that was the Herxheimer reaction. And like yesterday, I forgot to drink a lot. I have my good and bad days, okay? Yesterday was a pretty good day, so I got overconfident. I didn't eat breakfast till 3 p.m. Yeah, I am learning, dealing with Herxheimer reaction, frequent small meals is the way to go, okay? And I also need to stay chill. Like, the reactions are, you feel really weird. It's like, I mean, in my case, like the swelling in my mouth will get worse, and then the next day it'll be better. I did have ginger turmeric tea simply because I thought I could calm down the inflammation in my body. It didn't work. I only did it once, so you're not supposed to use food as medicine, you know. But I started off thinking, I was looking through my recipes, okay, and I thought, this looks delicious, and maybe it'll help with the inflammation, because I had inflammation. I had a conversation with Brent today, okay, on my bed, because he likes to hump on me. I said, did you put medicine in that ginger turmeric tea? I said, if so, hump on me. So he humped on me. I said, oh. So that's why I feel so weird today. He says, yeah, you think it was the turmeric. It was actually the medicine I put in there. I said, what kind of medicine did you put in that tea? And he said, oh, we found a better antibiotic to deal with your germ. We've been perfecting this in the lab. And he said, yeah, you're going to feel a little weird, and you are getting die-off symptoms, so just continue to eat your balanced diet. Don't freak out. You are making progress. I said, am I making progress? Sometimes I wonder. He said, hump. Yeah, I said, so yeah. And I said, sometimes I feel a little bit of pain in that extraction area. Does that mean? He said, you're getting a lot of allergic. He seemed to be telling me that I'm getting a lot of allergic inflammation in the area. Yeah, and allergy can even cause mucus. So he said, don't freak out by it. The die-off is giving you allergic inflammation, and just keep eating your balanced diet, drinking your water. I think my strategy right now is frequent small meals, but all balanced. Like if you do anything off balance, like too much milk, too much of anything, I've been cutting back on my fruit because I used to eat way too much, and I'm getting plenty, believe me. I think I had like 2 cups this morning. I used to have like 4 or 5 cups a day. This is what I mean by balanced diet, okay? And my kefir, at the beginning of my antibiotic treatment, I was taking extra kefir to try to stall a yeast infection. I probably ended up making it worse for me simply because the probiotics, all that milk sugar was probably feeding all the germs. I'm thinking, oh, milk sugar food, you know? So yeah, it's like balanced diet is key. And the Herxheimer reaction is really weird. It's like the yeast die-off, when the yeast releases all its toxins and stuff when it dies off. And especially in the case like me where I have allergy to toxin, you can get some reactions that make you feel like you're getting worse instead of better, and it's really easy to freak out. Yeah. So it's I'm learning when I freak out, I usually end up making bad decisions. So I spent some time in meditation, just meditating to water. I decided, let's lay off on I only did turmeric ginger tea yesterday. And I made it with maybe like a half teaspoon of ginger powder, a quarter teaspoon of ginger powder, a half teaspoon of turmeric powder with some of my Brita water. I put in a little bit of artificial sweetener because I'm trying to avoid, just so it wouldn't, there was like a teaspoon of sucralose, because I don't want to feed these yeasty beasties. They like sugar, you know. And then I put in a little bit of pepper and a little bit of butter, because I didn't have coconut oil. My recipe called for coconut oil. I didn't have that, so I put a little bit of butter and Irish butter. And then I sipped some of it, and I thought, oh, this tastes good. And I ended up drinking the whole cup. It tasted good. I think today I'm reacting to that. I learned later that turmeric actually has some antifungal and antibacterial properties, so no more of that for right now. I'm just going to have plain water for meditation. That seems to be working right now with my body all inflamed. Yesterday I started feeling really crappy because I didn't have breakfast, and I waited. I was drinking water, but apparently not enough. I really need to drink a lot of water, because when you're going through detox, if you don't drink water, you're going to feel really bad. And I know about 3 p.m. my liver was in pain. My gallbladder was in pain. I could actually feel it, was in pain. And I thought, you blew it today. You got so excited about ramping up your website. Yeah. So I talked to Brent, brain to brain, and I said, well, are we making progress with this infection? And he humped on me. Oh, he just did it right now. So that means I don't need to worry about it. He humped on me. I said, okay, as long as we're making progress. He said, yeah. He said basically the Herxheimer reaction is probably a pretty accurate way to describe why you think you're not making progress. He said, but the germ levels are going down, so we are making progress, and mostly what you're experiencing is allergy. Yeah, allergy to the die-off, okay? And it's making you feel like you're not making progress. And he said you're going to have to be patient. Patience is not one of my virtues, okay? And just understand that we are making progress, even though it may not seem like it, judging by the symptoms you're experiencing. And he said the medication that I put in your ginger turmeric tea is working too, and it's probably adding to the die-off. And so you're feeling really kind of crappy right now. But he said don't freak out by it, stay chill. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. But sometimes I'll get like a mild headache. I'm definitely dizzy and disoriented, absent-minded. I mean, like I told you, my brain feels like mud's all over it. congestion. Sometimes, and I get soft stool, not full blown diarrhea, but the bowels are feeling a little less burny than about a week ago. So I guess we're making some progress. And I looked at my tongue in the mirror this morning, and it looks better, though there's more swelling in the area of the extraction. So the inflammation kind of like moves around in my body, Yeah. Yeah. So just basically my focus right now is balanced diet. I created a whole page on balanced diet that I got from a UK health site about how to eat a balanced diet to help me to remember like 5 cups of fruits and vegetables a day. And I'm going to cut back on the fruits, increase the vegetables. I'm going to be making some more videos for my cooking channel. I was cutting back a little bit on acid foods while it was really irritated there, but it's healed up enough now where I want to start focusing on getting back into normal foods. So like I'm eating a small amount of oranges with some strawberries and a Granny Smith apple with some cottage cheese and oatmeal in the morning. I finished my shepherd's pie, which was delicious, by the way. But starches and carbs are considered in the same category for a balanced diet. So like I said, I'm feeling weird all over, but I'm trying not to freak out about it. I'm considering this part of the die-off reaction. Like there's swelling all through my mouth. It's on this side and on this side. It's on both sides. So it's not just, it's systemic. It's not just because of this. So the inflammation's a little worse in the area of the extraction right now. The tongue is looking better. So the thrush that I had seems to be improving. But like I said, it's been a little systemic. The symptoms are not just limited to my mouth area. It's been in my bowels, my liver, my gallbladder, my spleen, even my heart, brain. I figured out something. Remember I was showing you the bumps on the bottom of my foot? Let me show you. I thought this was lymph nodes. Can you see that? Oops. I am not. You can see I'm dizzy. Let me go back this way. There you go. See that right there? That is not what I thought it was. That is what they call runner's bump. Okay? I thought I could gauge how I was doing with my infections by the size of that bump. I don't think that I can. I believe that is caused by the way I've been lacing my shoes. Because if swollen lymph nodes was my problem, with all the infection being up in my head, you would think that lymph nodes would be swollen in my neck, right? Okay? So I did a little research to try to figure out if you could have swollen lymph nodes down in your ankle, even though the infection's up in your head or, in the other part of your body. And I found a picture of somebody who looked like they had something very similar to what I have down there, and they call it runner's bump. And they said they got that because their shoe was rubbing against the tendon, and it caused the body to form like a little bump there because of the irritation. So I found a different way to tie my shoelaces, and I'm going to see if that works. I do not believe that is. In fact, I think it's a little better. It's going to take a while for it to go away. It's kind of like the callus that I got on my middle toe from another pair of shoes that I wore, and it got really thick. And I never worried about it because it didn't bother me. And actually, those swollen spots on my ankle don't really bother me that much. They look worse than they feel. And I used to think it was swollen lymph nodes. I don't think so anymore. I do believe that's called runner's bump. I am a big-time walker, and it looks like that area has gotten irritated, and kind of my body's formed like a gel to protect the tendon, I guess, because I had my shoelaces tied too tight around the ankle. So I've loosened my shoelaces. I've tried a different lacing technique, and I think that will solve that problem. So I can no longer look at that bump down there and use that as an indicator of how my infections are doing. My husband actually has like x-rays and stuff that he can use, and scanners that he can use to determine how the germs are doing in my body. And he seems pretty relaxed about this. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I've had swelling down here for quite a while, okay? And I never freaked out about it. I guess I was expecting instant results once that tooth got extracted. But considering that the infection is probably systemic, I'm not going to get overnight results, so I'm just going to have to be patient and not freak out, you know. And I'm still on the Deflucan. It doesn't run out till about maybe 3 o'clock on Wednesday, and maybe it'll still be in my body a little bit after that. And if it's true what I heard brain to brain, which my husband seemed to verify by humping when I asked him on the bed that he put medicine in my ginger turmeric tea yesterday, that may also explain some of the die-off reaction I'm getting. So he seems to be telling me, yes, I did put some medicine in your ginger turmeric tea. He said, but you probably should have no more of that because that is kind of a violation of the Gail commandment, using food as medicine. Though what happened is I was just going to sip on it to see what it tasted like, and it was so good, I ended up drinking the whole cup. Which means I got a really strong dose of whatever medicine my husband put in there, which might explain the die-off symptoms today. And the symptoms, interestingly, are always worse when I first get up in the morning, which kind of verifies to me that it is the Herxheimer reaction. Simply because, especially if I've slept good, okay? Because when I sleep good, that means I'm not drinking water, right? That means when I wake up in the morning, I'm a little dehydrated, which means any toxins that are in my body have built up while I was sleeping. I haven't been drinking water, I haven't been urinating, and so they're built up in my blood and probably causing the inflammation to get worse, because it was always worse in the morning. So it is the Herxheimer's reaction. You said, when did that start? It started about right after I got on the Deflucan, about the second or third day after I got on the Deflucan. So, and I thought it was the Deflucan. No, it's the yeast die-off reaction. Yeah. Yeah, it's. Unfortunately, I think I've had this yeast infection for a while, okay? I started antibiotic treatment for this in October 2023, okay? And my tongue got a little green, and Brent told me to just kind of keep an eye on it, and if it was bad, go to your dentist and he could give you something for it. But it seemed to resolve on its own. I don't think it completely resolved. I just thought it did. I was drinking a little extra kefir to try to deal with it back then, and it seemed like it resolved on its own. And even the green tongue went away. But apparently when I did antibiotics again in June, and my husband told me to take them, and he was right, I did, because I did have a bacterial infection in here, that just really exacerbated the ongoing yeast infection. So I think that just made it really bad. And so that I got thrush, I got, itchy vagina a little bit, and gastrointestinal. I get gastrointestinal symptoms. They call it candiditis, whatever. It's a yeast infection, okay? So yeah, and I am allergic to yeast toxin because I have a history of having had yeast infections. So I'm dealing with the Herxheimer reaction, which makes you feel like you're feeling worse. But I notice I feel better towards the end of the day when I've been drinking water, eating regular balanced diet. Yeah. Anyways, I'll be making garlic potatoes today. I think I'm going to be adding another recipe to my list of recipes. I'm going to try Italian minestrone soup. Now, I've been kind of avoiding the tomatoes because of the acid, but I'm at the point now where I think I need to start eating more normal food. Yeah, and minestrone soup has got lots of vitamins and minerals, and it'll be good for me to increase my vegetables. I'm working on increasing my vegetables, decreasing my fruit, increasing my protein a bit. I think I was a little low on protein. Cutting back on milk. I don't want to totally eliminate it because Jesus once told me that I do need some milk for my bones. So I don't think he'd be happy if I totally eliminated milk. However, I do not need to have as much milk as I had before. I think it was a little excessive. Yeah, I happen to love, my dairy, but so I'm going to cut back on it. I'm going to still have it, but not as much. And I'm going to try to have more variety with my vegetables. Yeah, been pretty much eating the same thing, So I'm working on a balanced diet, and I created a post on that. And I'm going to be cutting back on my sweets. Yeah, I had a little chocolate every day, and then I had like 4 or 5 fruit popsicles a day. No more of that. Yeah. Now that I'm trying to get over I actually think I developed a craving for the sweets because of the yeast infection. Yeah, that's what I think was happening to me. I was feeding the yeasty beasties. Yeah, no more of that. It's no fun trying to get rid of them. So, yeah, I'm going to, right now, I'm kind of like on a strict no sugar diet. Not totally no sugar. I mean, like, every now and then I'll have a bowl of, like, Cheerios, which has, a little bit of sugar is okay. I mean, they add a little bit of sugar, but it's kind of like they say at the UK site for a balanced diet, sugar, salt, oils, fat, small amounts, okay? And no more picking out on the nuts. I love my nuts, but I'm kind of cutting back on that too. I'm striving for balance. That's kind of difficult for me because I tend to be an obsessive eater. I get on these binges where like right before I had the tooth pulled, I was on a fruit popsicle binge. I loved my fruit. I've always loved my fruit. 4 or 5 cups a day, though, is a little too much. Okay? Maybe it was more like, it was about 4 cups, yeah. So now I'm cutting back to 1 to 2 cups. And increasing my vegetables. Yeah. Yeah. Increasing my meat a little bit. I enjoy a lot of the Asian cuisine, and they tend to be low meat. But I think I was shorting myself a little bit on the protein, so I'm going to, but maybe not because I was getting the milk, but a little bit more meat. But right now, when I go through the day, I think, okay, which food group have you been neglecting? Have you had enough vegetables today? Increase the vegetables if not. Which one have you been having too much of? Cut back on that. And sometimes you don't do it perfectly every day, but over the week, you basically want to make sure you're getting a balanced diet. So that is my new focus right now. It is a Gail commandment too. Usually I violate the Gail commandment by going on health nut binges, like eating healthy foods in excess, like too much of the kefir. But you can also violate a balanced diet by eating what are the typical unhealthy foods, like too much chocolate, too much fruit popsicles, candy, any of those. It's not a balanced diet to have 6 fruit popsicles a day. You see what I'm talking about? So I need to fix that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, and who says I have to have chocolate every day? Right now, I haven't had any chocolate at all while I'm waiting for my body to, it's because of the sugar in it. It's not because of the chocolate. I'm avoiding the sugars. I don't want to feed the yeasty beasties. Yeah. Anyways, I owed you all a YouTube video. I'm really working on staying chill and not letting the yeast die freak me out. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm living in another dimension. I get so dizzy from the die-off, okay? And I got to remember to drink my water. Oh, another good thing about going through all this. I am at my dream weight. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, let me see if I can. Look at this. See? I am at my dream weight. Yeah, I'm about 5'6.5". I have small bones, and I am now down to about 132, 133 in the morning on an empty stomach. Whereas before I did the extraction, I was around 139. Okay? So I've lost about 139 down to 132, about 6-7 pounds. Well, you can't eat 6 fruit popsicles a day and expect to stay skinny. and pig out on full fat dairy products and stuff, Oh, I had probiotic yogurt too. Yeah, I've been laying low on all that stuff. It's just that I've got it in my fridge right now because and I hate to waste food, but I'm determined to have a balanced diet. So, and I think the milk sugar is feeding some of these germs, so it's got to be in moderation. Yeah. So anyways, I'm trying not to freak out by the way my mouth feels right now. Yeah. Like I said, I had a conversation with Brent on the bed, and I tell him to answer with a hump. He said, you are making progress. He said, the discomfort you're feeling throughout your body is mostly germ die-off reaction. So just keep the water down and don't freak out. So, yeah. The germ die-off reaction or the yeast die-off reaction can vary depending on how it was affecting your body before you started treatment or got on your antimicrobial. And so generally, a lot of times during the die-off reaction, whatever part of your body was infected or inflamed, sometimes that can actually feel worse as you're going through die-off. In my case, it's the mouth area right around here where I had the extraction, okay? And my intestines, they were often inflamed. I've had intestinal issues because of the yeast for quite a while. So, yeah, you just got to stay chill. And when you have had a long-term infection, unfortunately, it usually doesn't go away overnight. So you got to be patient, and you're going to have some days that are better than other days, and a lot of time you'll get a flare-up of the same, when you're going through die-off, you get a flare-up of the same symptoms that you had that with the germ when you were infected with it. Yeah. So you feel like, I'm never going to lick this germ. It's winning. And maybe it isn't winning, but you're experiencing die-off, and it just seems like it's winning, okay? You're getting the inflammation, some of the same discomforts that you had when you were really badly infected with it. And you just have to continue your treatment, like take the prescription medicine as prescribed by your health practitioner, and don't lose faith. Keep the water down, get your rest, eat a balanced diet, and be patient. And don't freak out when the die-off happens. Anyways, I owe you all I'll have links to my recipes pages. They're really cool, and you can find the recipes real easy now. Yeah, from my cooking channel. And there's going to be more. There's probably going to be a cooking video for the minestrone soup. I'm probably going to be making that in a couple days. Today is garlic potatoes. Yeah. So I'll be making, I love potatoes. But I need to eat them in moderation. But I do. And then I'll make sure I have some, and then I'm probably going to make some miso soup too with some kale, tofu, seaweed. It's got some wakame seaweed in it. I enjoy it. And I'm going to try to stay calm about the die-off.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart pure and strong. With the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah, fighting against the devil with order. She's the first, the passionate crusader. Stand by the side, conquer it all. Through space battles and trials.